guys, Coach Jen. Today we're going to talk about transitions, getting ready for your next triathlon. So basically my philosophy in transition is less is best. So the least amount of things that you can bring to transition with you, the better, especially when you get to some of those big races where space is limited. So I have my bike, generally it'll be up on a rack, racked by the back seat like this. Front wheel is on the ground, and you always want to rack so that the down wheel is facing you. So if you come to a rack and you're here and there's a number, your number is on the rack. If you have an assigned rack space, you want to rack it so that when you are looking at your bike, you see your number there. That's generally how the bike racks work. And it is best to rack by your seat so that the handlebars don't crowd the rack space. If everyone were to rack by their handlebars up here, then it would get really crowded. There wouldn't be enough space for bikes in a lot of those bigger races. So rack by your seat whenever possible. And then you want to organize your stuff on the ground next to your down wheel. So that would be your front wheel if you're racking by the seat. So I've got my bike. I've got everything on my bike here. If it was a long race, I'd have more nutrition and stuff here on my top tube. But for today, we've just got the water bottles. My shoes I have on my pedals already. If you don't do that type of mounting, then you would just have them sitting on the ground next to your bike. I set my helmet up here on my handlebars and my sunglasses just inside my helmet like that. Down on the ground, I've got my run gear, basically. I've got my race belt, my hat or visor, shoes, my albuterol, just in case, and then whatever nutrition I plan to carry with me. And sometimes if it's a really dirty transition area, I will have an extra bottle of water down there to spray off the gunk off my feet, and then I can use this towel to wipe off anything extra. So that's basically the setup for the transition area. Now we're going to go through actually doing the transition, getting on and off the bike. For those of you who want to try a little bit quicker transition, this is the part for you. Otherwise, you just, when you come into your transition area, you would put your shoes on and then mount your bike as you normally would when you're going out for a ride. Always helmet on first. You're not allowed to be handling your bike in transition without your helmet on. So remember, you always do your helmet first and then your shoes or whatever else you're putting on. And when you come back from transition, you always rack your bike first and then remove your helmet. Let's get rid of these flip-flops. Alright, so I'm going to grab my bike. We're going to come out here. Run your bike out of transition. Come around to the mount line. There's always a line somewhere where you mount your bike. You want to make sure that you don't get on your bike before that line. So the easiest way to do it if you're a little uncomfortable is you just run through transition, stop, hop over, put your feet on the pedals, and you start going just like you would be normally. Now if you wanted to get a little bit more exciting, you want to make sure that you've got your pedals in the appropriate place. So when you hop over, your feet are in the place. You start running, and then you're going to put one foot on the pedal, and then hop and go. And that wasn't very smooth, but kind of get the idea. So now we're going to talk about once you get on the bike, getting your shoes on and off, and dismounting. Once you're on the bike, just reach down, finger in the shoe, slide your foot in. So you're pedaling along, reach down, finger in the shoe, open up the tongue, reach around to the back, slide your foot in, and pull the Velcro close. And you're in. placed on top of the shoe and step your foot down. Undo the Velcro, grab the back, slide out, toe on the top, and step down. And for dismounting, there's a few different options. One option is just bring your foot over the front and step off, and you start running. That's the one that I tend to use the most because I've got these bottles up here and they tend to get in the way. If you don't have the rear bottle cages, you can try the rear dismount. Bring the other leg around behind you, swing it down, and run off. All right, once you've dismounted your bike, you always want to make sure you dismount before the dismount line. Dismounting your bike, you run it back into transition, re-rack your bike, and then you may unstrap your helmet. Set my helmet down, shoes on. I don't wear any socks, so it makes it easy. If you're gonna do socks, you get your socks on and then your shoes. Then I grab my stuff and I take off. Put my hat on and my race belt as I'm running. And that's transition.
Hello.